This video I'm going to unbox and review the Ryobi 80V 1000 watt power source, and also see how long I can power lights and a heater with it using different battery configurations in my riding mower. I'll be using an iDrive joystick mower, which wasn't designed to work with this power source, but I'll show a couple easy hacks I use to connect to the batteries. I bought this used from a private seller, but I was told it had everything in it, so if you see that it doesn't, please let everyone know in the comments. So aside from the reading materials, all that was in the box was the power source and a couple long plastic screws used to attach the unit to an 80V battery. The bolts screw into the side, so I will attempt to attach the power source, but I have it upside down at first. The plugs need to be facing the same side as the handle for the battery. So once I have it on right, I'll screw in the two bolts and then unhook the cable so I can plug it into the battery. Then I'll check the battery charge and flip everything around so I can turn on the power source. And to do that, you just have to press the button on the right, which doesn't turn on the outlets until you press the button on the left for AC power. I decide to test it out with a heater inside first before I get everything set up to do testing outside with the mower, so I'll plug the heater in and turn it on low to start. I noticed during testing outside that the watts this shows being used is different than two of my other watt meters, so I'll show that difference later in the video. With this heater on low, it's showing around 580 watts being used. On medium, it shows almost 900 watts, and on high, it goes up over 1000 watts, and then throws an error I reset by pushing the AC power button on the left. So now that I know this works, I'll take a closer look at some of the design features. This is designed really well in my opinion. The handle on the battery makes it possible to easily carry this around with one hand to wherever you need power. You can take out the bolts to attach the power source to another battery, or you can press the plastic lock tab down and slide it off if you want to get power from a mower, which I will test with next. But before that, I will show you how to slide the power source back on the battery that has the plastic mount screwed on. I end up sliding this on upside down because there is only one indentation for the lock on the bottom, but it still slides on if for some reason you want the plugs facing the other side of the battery. I'm not going to need the battery to test with the mower though, so I'll take it off and head outside to begin. So my first attempt at testing the power source was with only two 80V batteries, but I ran into some issues that make me decide to start over. I begin by figuring out the total wattage for an old heater and the lights in the shed, so I do that with a power meter. The lights alone use just under 200 watts, and when I switch the heater onto low, it jumps up to around 700 watts. Then when I bump the heater up to medium, total use is around 912 watts, and on high it goes up to around 1220 watts. So I decide to keep the heater on medium, thinking it was the closest to 1000 watts, but when I plug the lights and heater into the power source, it shows the total watts being used at around 1100. I don't want the power source to air out like it did inside, so I bumped the heater down to low, and it now shows 800 watts, which is around 100 watts more than my other meter displayed. I also learned that having these iDrive mowers on without sitting in them will trigger an audible alarm, so I'll turn the tension all the way down on the seat and try putting a cinder block on it. One block isn't enough weight though, so I'll add another and then charge the two 80V batteries back up all the way again. The charger takes a little time to work its way up to the full charging watts, but it seemed to settle at around 1280 watts. I'll go back inside while it charges back up, and this is when I notice that it stays on 100% charge for quite some time, so I plug the meter back in, and it shows it's only using around 360 watts. And I figured out that if I unplug the charger and plug it back, and while it shows 100%, it will show me the charge complete screen immediately after booting back up. So now I will plug the lights back into the power source and plug the power source back into the mower, and then turn the mower and power source on to start the test. I'm using the lights in the test so I can go back inside and just watch the cameras while I work, and I'll know the power ran out when I see the lights go out. Which for this first test happens after about an hour and 20 minutes, so I'll grab a couple more batteries and head back out to the sheds to charge the two batteries back up while I test how long it takes to drain a single 80V battery. So after I get the charger hooked up to the mower and then power supply hooked up to the single battery, I'll head back inside to wait for this second test to complete. Now that I know how long it takes for two 80V batteries to drain, I can expect that a single battery will run for around half the time, but it ends up running a couple minutes longer, shutting down just over 45 minutes. So while the two batteries continue to charge, I find my other watt meter, because I'm curious why I'm getting different readings on my first meter and the Ryobi power source. I'll get just under 500 watts after I plug the heater into the meter I've been using, and then when I plug the heater into my second meter, that gets a reading of just over 500 watts. But for some reason the Ryobi power source shows the heater uses almost 100 watts more, so I'm not sure why that is. Now I'll move on to the third test, which will be to see how long I can run what I am assuming is around 700 watts when there are three 80V batteries in the mower. So with the power source hooked back up, I will install the third 80-volt battery and then turn the mower and power source back on. Then I'll go back inside and work until I see the lights go off, and based on the tests that I have ran so far, I'm assuming this configuration will last a little over 2 hours. And my assumption is correct, I end up getting 2 hours and little over 10 minutes of runtime for the assumed 700 watts that I'm using. And if you happen to know why the power source shows 100 watts more than both my watt meters, please let us all know in the comments. So moving on to the fourth and final test, I'm going to see how much runtime I'll get with the three 80-volt batteries fully charged back up along with four charged 40-volt 12-amp hour batteries installed in the sides. And one last time I'll turn on the mower to create my connection and check to make sure I'm fully charged. Then I'll turn on the power source that shows I'm using 800 watts to begin the test. Then I'll go back inside to wait again, but this time I'm not sure how long until the lights shut off because I haven't tested the 40-volt 12-amp hour batteries using the lights and heater set on low. But I eventually find out that with the batteries fully stacked in the mower, I'll get almost 4 hours of power before it runs out on me. Hopefully this video has helped, and feel free to ask any questions that you still may have in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more quick and on-point videos.